think we're gonna be pretty good, if not better than we were last split. I think we kind of like fell short at the finish line, so I think bringing in someone like Stellar is gonna be pretty good for us as a team, because obviously he has a lot of experience and he can even help Physic IGL, so I think it's gonna be really good for us, and hopefully we do a lot better than we did last year.
Crosses to the site though, there will be a spike plant now. Okay, that's a bit scary. Shonek's had to reposition and Bob. Okay, caught unawares. Now no more rifles left. It's Jake V2. We're going to be looking at a post plant where Willie has it off angle to play from.
No rifles.
Jake was probably heard crossing here. A rifle, but the pistols are going to work. Surely! 6 HP there left for the breach, and Jake has to go pretty mental here. 22 points of health. Okay, hang about. Close ult. Not expecting that emergence there from Jake. And time is short. Time is real, so this will be an unreal
Obviously, we're a team that we don't really scrim, and even though this is like out of the ordinary, it's kind of our strong suit because we're a wild card. We can win like matches that no one expects us to win. We're just hoping to like keep our momentum, because momentum matters a lot. We're kind of like a force to be reckoned with. We're scary right now to most people.
Information about mid, but Poppin is poised to take them down. One is good, two would be great.
Still wants to push this.
Might get pinched here at the top of mid. Oh, Poppin with 4.
Hurry for A. Hey, let's just fight them back.
They're going to. They're going to go to this anyway. They know this.
It is time for the grand finals of Stage 3 of Valorant Challengers North America. YFP going up against Rankers. Jen, to see these teams fight out through our playoff bracket, get into this grand finals, and a rematch to boot, it's going to be a fun time ahead.
Yeah, you heard Jakey in the interview saying, man, Rankers got to watch us play, maybe download some of our strats, but how do you prepare against a team like Rankers who just play so like strange compositions, or at least out of the norm? But that's what we're looking forward to, the rematch of that semifinal where Rankers took them all the way to 3 and ended up winning, but it was very swingy maps, like 13-5, and then what, 13-2, or 13-2 at some point for Rankers. Like, it's going to be, this match is going to depend heavily on who got their best maps.
Yeah, and I mean, in the interview, talking about Rankers being able to get being able to download, but it's been said by the team, it's a team that doesn't really scrim. It's a team that they go out there. They're these top ranked players, hence the name of the team, and being able to really just go toe-to-toe with these top players, which is going to be so much fun. And I think with that being said, a lot of pressure going on to YFP for this series, Vans. They're the known quantity. They're the signed team. These are the players that we've been following, and they're the ones that have these scrims. They have the IGLs. Like, there is so much now ahead of them in this grand finals.
Yeah, we heard Poppin doing those interviews before we just came back from the break, right? That they're a team that doesn't scrim, just as you've mentioned, and then they're playing against this YFP team that is prepared, that is a team that takes it seriously on scrims or whatnot. But I think it's also one of those moments where you just throw those strats out the window, and when it has to come down to those moments where you have to play the ranked style, just like Stellar just did in this 1 versus 3, they could still have what it takes to go toe-to-toe. I feel that maybe what happened in the last time that these two teams faced off against each other, was a slight overcook in terms of pulling out new compositions on Split, where you could play, you know, the most basic comp as you can since Split came back, and then still have the greatest victory as you can, just like YFP did yesterday, right, against their opponents. So I think there's a great chance for redemption, just like YFP did against Blue Water, and a great chance for them to learn from those mistakes from Rankers, and sometimes to just not think about the timing of util and just shoot back.
Yeah, a lot of util kills even on the stats, but Stellar, you know, known for that leadership on 100 Thieves, very calm demeanor, very sharp, and his ability to clutch in these solo scenarios is so impressive. A lot of rounds were won because Stellar made the impossible possible, and all those years of experience in Valorant, even extending to other FPS titles, is the reason why any team would want Stellar in the lineup, including for his breach. And we'll see if but Rankers don't really utilize a breach as much, so I'm wondering if Stellar could really give a huge advantage on certain maps to YFP, but it all depends on if they got their strengths picked.
I mean, I'm definitely looking for like these veteran voices on the team. Is, of course, ideal for the team, but Stellar being able to have that experience too, and for all these smart Valorant players to put their heads together to go up against this Rankers team. Because when we are looking at this team that is self-proclaimed and proud of the fact they're making it to this point with no scrims, it's because of their game sense in this game. When not even just that interview that we heard before from Poppin, but even when I got to talk to him yesterday, he's talking about Vans, the hours that they put into the ranked servers. They're ready for anything. Their plans can change, concepts can change. They've got it on lock. It doesn't matter what anyone throws at them.
Yeah, that's what I was mentioning before, right? Like Kane, Knights, Poppin, all reached rank 1 at some point in the ranks. Eggster had 3 accounts simultaneously in the top 10 at some point in Radiant accounts, so they definitely have and put time in the server in a different way. And this is honing individual skills. And that, when it comes down to like the moment of chaos, is you kind of just know, okay, well, I'm going to flash around this corner as a Yoru. You as the other guy from behind just know to like to turn around and turn back and go for just great trades. But the other thing too that's huge is these individual prowesses coming out from, you know, Kane Zera or other players overall like Eggster. They're just able to find good duels, and a lot of these moments, individual duels and those microseconds where the second player is going to swing out, they're just going to get that pick as well, because if you're not going to be as synchronized to play against a team like Rankers in these duels, you're losing.
And to enable these duelist-like players like Eggster and Kane, you need very good initiators, and Poppin brings that. Not as many agents, like a large agent pool like Stellar has, but Poppin, a lot of Sky, a lot of Sova, flash heavy, info heavy, and he has a very high clutch percentage due to just that chaotic style of playing so much ranked. You're used to this chaos, you're used to being disorganized, and that's where Rankers can really thrive, is to play so unpredictably. But Poppin can bring some sort of stabilization when they want to have a more unified push. So look out for a Sova and look out for a Sky.
So I heard that you actually bought the Poppin guide, Sierra. Have you opened it yet to start learning?
No, you were. I haven't joined the Discord yet because I didn't want to be outed that I went and bought it after the win yesterday. How can you do this to me?
What do you mean? I mean, I would have bought the guide, but I mean, I gotta feed a kid, so I can't yet. I need some extra pocket cash.
There was a sale, and I'm bad at Valorant. Like, what more can I say here? Come on, all right.
Send that to me real quick, though.
Right.
Me too.
I'm gonna hide my face. We're gonna get the maps up here. We got a grand finals ahead of us. We saw these two teams face off in the upper semis. So for expectations of what's here, we already know a little bit, Jen. We already know a little bit, and we're already kicking it off and run back on Sunset.
Such a deja vu. And then the advantage that Rankers get is that first ban. So getting rid of Abyss, that's always their first ban, but it's the same map set as a semifinal. 13-5 on Sunset for Rankers, 13-8 on Ascent to YFP. Then our final map ended 13-2 for Rankers. So see what I mean by very swingy maps. When YFP lose, they lose hard. Their strengths are very clear, but their weaknesses are even clearer, and Rankers are bringing them back exactly to the point where they beat them down. Not only beat them down, but buried them 6 feet under. And that final map, 13-2 on Split. We'll see if we even get to that point, what YFP learned.
It almost feels like the last two teams rather that are looking to play against Rankers are kind of just giving it somewhat an easy run for Rankers, because if you think about Rankers versus Nightblood Gaming yesterday, it was the same maps that they faced off against each other during the group stages, where it was a victory that came out from Rankers, and you think you're able to have the revenge arc by running through the same gauntlet, the same maps, and then, you know, think you correct your mistakes. But you have these moments as well where Rankers find these, you know, gaps as you go round per round. The closer the games are going to be, the more Rankers are going to find opportunities and exploit those. And now it seems YFP is going to try to attempt to do the same thing, to play the exact same map pool as they did versus Rankers the last time they faced off against each other, I think in like the quarterfinals or even on semifinals. Yeah, semis, uppers. So I don't like the looks of it for YFP, to be honest.
I have to agree with you, because when you're looking at Rankers coming on into this as well, it's a confidence that they're able to grow by taking down these teams that we've been talking about, taking down all these other teams that we've talked about so much, and then going through the upper bracket into that grand finals. Well, then it's a confidence that's going to be sky high, and it's a YFP. I feel like the odds are stacked up against them. The one thing that they do have is these heads that they can put together for this prep to try and go for a different outcome here. They are also, Jen, coming off of a great momentum in that last Sunset, something that even if it was a rough loss to Rankers before, they did just have a strong showing on it. So I'm really looking to that first map for what pace, what momentum they're bringing to the series.
one boon for YFP is, they're a slow warm-up type of team, but they did just get their warm-up against Nightblood Gaming, and they ended on a really strong foot. They went from more of a passive defense to one that really leads with a proactive approach. As we go to our agent select, is it going to be the return of the Yoru and the ISO for rankers, and have YFP really download a solution for that?
I mean, the solution's what I'm looking at, because for rankers going for this Knight's Clove, Extra, the Canes are ISO, Vans, we know this, but still, like, there are capabilities out there. That's still a tough core to crack.
I also feel like a map is really good for YFP on this to play against an ISO where, Penny's been using a judge a lot. You play a lot of shorties, insta break the shield and fight back, where Kane Zero likes to play a lot of solo and pick solo fights. I think this is a great opportunity if you are isolated against Kane and you're solo anchoring a spot. There's a chance to gamify this against Kane.
I see what you did there, the isolated up against Kane. Nah?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah? Was that on purpose, or just like having a little accident?
Isolate him, win the 1-2-1s, cripple him, make him use a cane.
Wow. All right.
Wow.
we don't condone anything Vance is saying right now, but no, we got a grand finals to get to, Sunset. See if YFP
it's time to get a grand finals popping.
All right, just go ahead. Just go ahead and take it, guys. Go ahead. It's yours.
Talking about Kane like you don't have one right now. Let's get into our first map.
I'm good.
Rankers are undefeated on this map, but YFP rocked out on their last match. So we'll see if they can really push Rankers to the edge, but it's all about playing against a composition that you don't really practice against.
And YFP looking very weak-sided on this B site to start in this pistol to the grand finals. Thief holding it alone. The camera is really just trying to watch on late pushes from the split into the B site. Here's the exec.
Rankers one step at a time. Look, what? Just shooting through the smoke, Thief? But they left their market open. YFP get cut from behind, and Kane is ready to follow up and has an engagement in mid to worry about, and is just going to hold that down while Rankers play this front to back. And it's just Knights, Kane, and Poppin versus Jake. It's already been hit by the ISO vulnerable. Here comes Kane to finish off what he started, and it's Jake with that shot. Right click. This is the classic from him. The clutch, though, he's running out of time. But keep an eye on what Jakey could do for YP in the future. It's still just a very aggressive start for Ranked.
And that's what we're talking about too on YFP. How do you prepare against like this isolation of, just not only on Kane, but also on Knights. The same game plan came here for Ranks to plant towards B site, trying to flip the map and push towards Boba and not allow YFP to really set up on a retake, because that's the strong suit of this Breach Neon that YFP brings out. The camera was even set to walk up towards the staircase, yet you still have to win duels in the head-to-head battles, and you can't. So a great pistol to start for Ranker. It's a great read for YFP, but I think they're slowly realizing that it's just like the first time that they met against this team. It's a tough team to play against when they are in your face the way that they are, and sometimes you just don't get the util out. You just need a fight.
You're not having a paranoia because you're not running an Omen. If you're Rankers, it's just a lot of extra flashes, what engagements you can force based off the shock darts and the util that Rankers have, and just walking in without these blinds. It can hurt Rankers in the end, and just shooting through the smoke somehow still works out for our offense. Still get the plant down.
Still very good damage. Thief still has a Sheriff that could do a lot of damage with this on the flank, especially when there's no trip watching it. So the more that Physic does here and to keep him towards the shop, there's an opportunity for this flank from Thief to happen.
Rangers know how to hold those angles on the post plant, but Thief on the flank is a threat they gotta worry about. He'll be able to change up his Sheriff. Didn't manage to get it out in time. 4 for Knights. And yes, he only plays Clove, but he's damn good at it.
4 kills in that round and 3 on the previous one. You're already moving forward into a not dead yet. Your ult here on this Clove in the next round, and that is going to be very important to carry through your bonus. And it's potentially going to be fairly aggressive for Rankers, taking advantage of that ultimate. Kane moving forward with a Bucky, and also not even, I was gonna say, like, maybe he's not buying armor into it, and finally he does. I was gonna say, he's just gonna try to double tap and fight. But they are still, no matter what, staying as a group at the very beginning to avoid the initial util from YFP, but they're definitely not afraid to push back against this one way.
Yeah, having a breach, YFP can do a lot of suppression this A main. And Jake just had the initial spot and thought he could just jump out with the paranoia. But he still gets outnumbered, even while rankers were blinded. Now they just step forward and hope to wrap around the site. And Stellar, I don't know if he can turn around in time. No flank for YFP either. Just this one member isolated an elbow. Penny removed. Stellar just waits at the backside for the inevitable, and it's a 3K. He stayed at the same spot and just waited to get vision. It gives YFP a chance.
Plant right away so you can still use your... Oh, wait, he missed the plant. That's a timing to push forward from the defenders, but they don't. But you get this plant, you have the ult, even if you die, so there's an opportunity to still win this for Knights.
Even with the ult, YFP Knights doesn't know if they made it into the site. Wins the 1v1, and then the other. The Zippo clutch for rankers, and especially Knights, who has been lights out for this team.
We're going to get to a point where Knights is going to have his ult for the whole half because he's looking unstoppable. Already within 10 rounds, 3 rounds, 10-0. I had my numbers mixed up, but all to say that Knights is definitely unstoppable. In the clutch, in the entries, in the post plant, you have to stop this guy first before anybody else at this point. As we're praising Kane and Extra and the space that they're able to gain, it's all about Knights so far.
Even when Stellar had the 3K, it was so winnable for YFP. Now they want to have power in numbers. They know rankers have sent their full team this way, and Jakey couldn't do it all on his own. Now he's got a squad, and when they have mostly sheriffs, YFP could use all the help they can get. And just off the initial info from their Sova, YFP are confident to grab this orb and have an overdrive. It's a big boon for Penny. Does it get invested this round, and how much damage can it do to rankers?
And this will be a big one and done. Just one kill will be good enough, especially with the orb that you just mentioned that they picked up. And what a clear from Knights. Dude, this is insane. This is insane. I mean, it's still an anti-eco, but the heads-up play, look at him. Even ahead of the recon dart. Look at these shots.
I want the aim pack that Knights uses. Like, whatever lessons he's selling on Valorant means Sierra are on board. We need a Knights guide for sure. How to click heads like that. He makes it look easy.
Oh my god, it's so insane. And if there's anything in terms of movement and shooting, maybe Knights doesn't have a guide yet, but Xander does. I know they were watching it here on Sean's stream earlier on, so make sure you guys check that out. That said, though, this was still an anti-eco, though, against YFP. So YFP, they have money, they have that ult that they could leverage, but the amount of times here that they're going for the immediate fault line down and then getting the early control has not been working out because rankers are not afraid to just stay behind this at the very beginning and just re-hit right after.
Drone.
Defensive Sova is able to help YFP get a sense of security at this point, but this time it's Poppin that gets early info. YFP is just going to let them have the orb, especially when rankers, they just push in as a team, and rankers force you to play perfectly.
It's
you have insane aim. If you slip up once, Knights is probably going to headshot you based on just the scoreline that he has already, but good concuss from YFP. Penny moves on in, but rankers defend against it. It's the firing squad as YFP just play behind obstacles. Rankers jump through all the hoops and they keep every member alive. Despite YFP having the early stuns, it's now a plant that goes through and a 2v5 that feels impossible.
They gotta save, and that's what I'm talking about. The method behind the madness. It almost looks like they're always holding W, and they want to sell this to you, chat, saying that they don't know how to play organized Valorant, yet they do. Just because of that lurk coming up from Inspire and throwing those cages, it pushes and pulls Stellar away. Yes, maybe he's already used his fault line, but he cannot add extra util to help the two players into elbow and play close range because they're going to have to be afraid and be mindful of the top middle. And as they do that, it opens up the area for Poppin to move towards short. It isolates the 1v1 for Kane Zera and the kill contract. And then the shield also defends you from Penny's overdrive. And then they still are about to win this round with a flawless because Knights could also be the first entry, die, revive himself, and then get all the trades, and then the 5-0 scoreline. This is a very good manipulation of that last round on the attack side of Rankers, and it definitely should change their names. They're not basically ranking and pugging this game. There is still some great Valorant and some great displacements that they're creating with the compositions that they're running.
Yeah, they're the masters at their own game, whether it's the Clove or the ISO. And we casted some of these players, especially Knights and Kane in that Solar tournament, and just how good they were thriving in that chaos. And even with these teammates, even though they don't scrim, Rankers are on a tear, and map control using the neon wall, and as soon as that drops, Kane full sail ahead, taking care of that Sova. Limited info now for YFP, as now they have to re-clear through mid. Ranker's going to take advantage of maybe pulling attention towards the center of the map to check out the A site.
And right now, you can see it from the mini-map. Thief is still walking around, so he can't really spot, and finally he does so. So he checks his camera, it gets spotted, they break it, and then they're pushing players across the A site. Instantly, you have the ult from Jake, so they overreacted on the camera. That spotted some players, and all of Rankers are now pivoting back towards the B side, although they have zero information, so they have to still be smart on the clear.
This B site's going to be completely open. Because Inspire's watching the cross, you give them so much confidence. So you're doubting YFP are going to rotate through spawn, but they are going to do just that because they don't have sights on mid. It's going to take a while for YFP to reinforce B. Plan doesn't go through yet, and Inspire wants to get ahead of the game. Wants to be part of the action. Could be getting backstabbed by Penny. Oh, the door is closed. That's unlucky. As Penny just has to wait for everyone to be in position, mainly if Stellar can Rolling Thunder and let Penny dash in. So Rankers want to get eyes on Market. They're going to at least see that breach. It's when the trigger's going to be pulled for YFP, but not going for a Rolling Thunder, I guess. Time is running out.
Yeah, 3 versus 5. Poppin still has 100 Fury, so they're afraid that he's just going to play off-site too, so it would sort of be a waste, especially with how Ranker's been shooting so far. I think you want to get as much as an advantage, as you can, or at least try to make it as even as possible, because in a 3v5 with the way that Rankers have been playing, I don't think they're as confident to be able to retake the site. They need to try to play some 5v5, something that is able for them to be a little bit more passive, to punish the forward positioning that Rankers are currently doing, because a lot of these fights that Knights is winning with everybody else here from Rankers is like this mid-range, just around the corner fights. If somehow at some point you can get maybe an operator out and also avoid Kane 0 with a double tap with your operator, then maybe you're giving yourself a better chance here to play, 1, a player advantage, and 2, a passive play and a stronger retake play.
YFP went for a timeout much earlier than this win streak in their previous match. And thinking they have the solution, it's just about execution. And it's tough to prepare for a team like Rankers. The numbers are at least even, but a big ult advantage for YFP is they could just keep playing for retake with a Hunter's Fury, with the Rolling Thunder.
And this is big. The pings are coming out too, so Inspire grabs the orb. Players hit tab over a YFP. They know that Inspire has the ult, and then they ping the body of where Jakey's at. So they're like, okay, well, be careful with that. We have to make sure that we still isolate that part. So the owl drone at the minute, but it's going to miss him. Inspire has a timing potential to win a 1v1 or fight the 1v1 against Physic and still throw the hat.
Yeah, Inspire just needs to buy time. Just get their attention, willfully take.
That's a nice
Sonic. Now the attention of both initiators.
Exactly. But with stalling and not allowing Inspire to get the ult, they could still play within the site here because their positions are not given away.
Jakey playing in the smokes, about to encounter Poppin, who sneaks up on him. And now the Rolling Thunder, the retake at the corner. It's up to Kane to shut it down, and he does. And YFP haven't had a successful approach to dealing with these agents in the corners. Even through the Rolling Thunder, I don't even know if it hit Kane. Didn't look like it did, and yeah.
Denton Kane got a freebie, even a 2-piece. It was like it's KFC Tuesday, pretty much. And that's Rankers now at 7. I was going to say maybe it was a wasted ult from Inspire when, again, the goal was trying to get the ult onto the body of Penny in front of A main. But getting that ping, knowing where Fizzy was trying to run away to try to save his weapon, to just hunted him down. And you see the economy is not always the greatest. They could still have somewhat of a buy. Jake even has to go for a glass cannon Phantom to try to win this one here for YFP. But man, this is not the type of you asked the question. We all asked the question. Hey, YFP's warmed up to play against MBG. They should be good now, right? Nope. The advantage here is that Rankers was able to watch you play the whole half, the whole first map, and they're taking full advantage of your setups.
Doesn't help that Knights has just been a laser. Like you're barely trying to jump spot or put Penny into aggressive positions. I mean, he tried. He even had the concuss, and then you had the kill contract, you had the Knights ults, and Penny's dead. This was trying to be aggressive too early in elbow. Gets caught. YFP are stuck at A, not knowing if that was coming that way, so Rankers get a weaker site at B to take. And it's again these corner holds from Rankers. And YFP just needing to land that perfect shot to just weaken this guard. But it's 3 for Kane. Flawless for Rankers.
I mean, Jack, Rotmore, Nate Shot, somebody give me like one last minute off-season matchup of your team in Tier 1 versus this Rankers right now, because I want to see if they can continue this type of play style and shenanigans against a Tier 1 team. This is insane what I'm currently seeing from Rankers so far.
Yeah, Kane was a huge star in that SOAR Valorant tournament that we casted. Just a lot of neon, but also these ISO picks on Yoru. We had fun casting them on Haven, and just how much they can dismantle such organized and structured teams. Just really not doing anything too crazy, just quite literally being a death ball type of team that are so mechanical, and on the post plants have their crossfires and will play proactive. If there's no smoke standing in their way, Rankers will not cower at any point of the game.
Yeah, and this is YFP just trying to figure out what the hell they could do, because even though it comes down to just trying to shoot against Rankers, they just can't. But remember, this is also these moments where, because Knights and Kane Extra playing so aggressive and having these mid-range fight opportunities against YFP, there's still not that second player for YFP to instantly trade. So that micro adjustment is still available, and for young fraggers like Rankers, they'll have that reaction time to be able to adapt and micro adjust their crosshair to get that second kill. You definitely need to stay and keep a second player at all times for YFP on the defensive half so far. And looking at it from this timeout, look how passive it is for now. Trying to fight back with Neon Breach has not been working for the A side, and as they fall back so much, Rankers is going to take full advantage of that, because they haven't been fault line, they haven't been a Neon, there's no one-way smokes really blocking them towards the end, so Rankers is just going to take full advantage of it.
Rankers didn't even lose an offensive round when facing YFP in that semifinal. It ended 13-5. YFP got to at least kick things off on offense, and that's why it was a closer half. But Rankers are a different beast. Now the kill contract will pull one. Stellar is still in the lineup. Can't say the same about Thief, but Stellar's still having a flash. Once all the pins are set up, YFP weren't set up yet. Inspire gets the jump, takes out two, and YFP don't have flashes. They don't have paranoia. It's just Penny and Jakey against the world. And they can't do much. 9-0.
They won't have bodies, they won't have guns, they won't have money in round number 10. This is, again, this is a dismantling by Ranker so far. And I love that it's Inspire pushing out towards Gate and still getting a two-piece of his own. Because at this point, he's the one that's supposed to be the veteran for this team. Has been playing for the longest time and trying to grind into the Tier 1 scene. Had a short stint even as a 100 Thieves player. And then, you know, unfortunately, it didn't work out. I think it was that Eccles moment with him too. In like that whole carousel of rosters that went through 100 Thieves before we saw that roster here that Sean, DDK, and Mike's built. That said, though, he still has it, and he's still not only experienced for the Rankers, but also firepower for the team. And I like that. So now going into round number 10, this is a YFP with a broken econ, as we just mentioned. Aldrone forces the surprise factor that Penny was trying to do with the Guardian. And you can't, or sorry, on Jakey with the Phantom, but you're going to have to play reactive once again. Look at how much map control they've lost.
Ranker's trying to wrap around. And it's Kane with full util that can just throw out the shield at any point. But Jakey holds the line. And Physic gets a cutoff on the right side. So Rankers
time to jump.
Get pinched. And it's finally a round that YFP get an advantage in. Get the start off on a good foot. And even through the decoy getting the trip, that was YFP's signal to swing, and it continues to go their way despite an unfortunate bye. YFP almost do better in these lighter buy scenarios, and now you caught Rankin, or you caught, well, Rankin popping with a knife out. And YFP get one on the board, but it's still looking grim.
And you saw how two players for YFP were just stuck to each other like glue. Again, in those moments where, oh crap, we're playing against Knights, we have to make sure we have that that trade capability. So I like at least the readjustments from YFP going into the advantage that they had in the very beginning of this round. So making sure that their numbers advantage doesn't slip. And quite interestingly enough, we have an operator on the attack side of Rankers. So I don't know if they're going to be or trying to move this as quickly because they have the operator, but hell, it is still the Rankers. So who the hell knows?
Now, how can you enable Thief to get this neural theft online? Just figuring out Rankers before they can sink their teeth in would be ideal, and it's a great start for Penny. And the decoy, there's two yours that come out. Such a risky play. And Penny finds both players trying to enter and stagger in one by one. So unlike Rankers to not flood in as a team.
Mm-hmm. That is
3v5.
A great call, actually. And we kind of saw that, too, when you were mentioning Kane and Knights playing together with Washed during the For Those Who Dare event, where, you know, in Mocking's roster, they had such a strong lead, and sometimes you have a little bit of trolling and shenanigans. The half is 9-3, and then they close it out, you know? So I'm not going to take anything away. Also, Knight's still alive. All good.
Spike down A.
Getting a trade is huge, but 2v4.
I got the spike.
So pretty tough, unless Knights could get an ult and a neural theft activated. No corpse in sight for Inspire.
Watch them run.
From the shadows from Jakey to just join the squad, as YFP are very sure that A is the site to hit.
So much respect given. Look at all three of them back towards the spawn because they expect a spawn push from Rankers. Now they have they'll just play within the site. Nice little dink to start.
Now hoping to catch the reinforcements. Inspire just kept going and leaves Knights in such a perilous spot. It'll be YFP stealing away another round after just a fantastic initiative from Penny with the double kill off the bat, and he was the only one to go down. So a lot of guns being carried over for YFP.
It's a good round for all of the mistakes for Rankers to happen in that round, all right? To have the op trying to come out without the double tap to look through. I think he was still trying to look for a pick into elbow and not expecting, you know, just Penny to swing out. And then secondly, Extra's trying to bait out some shots and try to TP away as he gets caught in it. And then thirdly, you know, Inspired still pushed towards the spawn, but that's the biggest tell. To realize that all of YFP are still playing back as a group, as they are in the back of the A site, or even towards B. Let's say that the plant goes towards B. Rankers can now just play within the site or even play post plant outside of the site and try to win this. So this is continuous conditioning that Rankers is doing here against YFP.
And you expect Thief to be solo anchoring B, but it's Jakey this time who pivots and Paranoia to delay, and he teleports out as... I don't even know if that was a real Yoru or not. Either way, Jakey is alive and well. Okay, it was the decoy. But still, you just never know.
Yeah, well, it was decoy, flash, and TP, but he flashed himself as he came out of his TP, so unlucky there. So there's a chance Jakey still survived, but like a Knight's.
Oh, nice. He's just so proactive on these swings, and he'll have the ult to rejoin his team or keep committing if he's crazy. He's cut the overdrive out of this neon, and Penny slumped down. And it's Rankers that shut every attempt at a retake down. 10-2 half for Rankers. This may be a quicker day than we thought, and we said it was going to be all about the map picks. It ended 13-5 for Rankers on this map in the semifinal. Will it go to 3 as we are following a similar script in the semifinal in terms of maps?
Yeah. And looking at it too, the fact that you have Rankers, that was a real right play. I don't think I've seen pro play somebody that's just going to crouch under the boxes and say, yo, break my owl drone, and I'm going to swing out towards the back. And Knights was able to get one, created the hiatus in the back of the site out of his ult to allow her pop in to get Hunter's Fury value and really not allow YFP to flood back within the site again. Just a great play coming through, and I think they found more value of that by pushing out towards Boba than pushing out in the back of the A site. So YFP now on the attack side, and Knights is looking for a fight for top mid. Camera looking down towards A side. They have B lane control already, and that's a great start, at least though, with physics with the opener.
Timing on the swing, super nice for YFP with that mid control, pulls Kane to maybe deal with that problem.
Spike down B.
And just getting the spike down for Rankers, and Kane going in deep from mid. YFP is now worries they have flankers to worry about. They got a forward Cypher at B to dismantle. And it's a flash that Inspire can swing out of. The cage comes up and YFP could trade. They get the spike and they try to leave, but someone who could cut them off is popping. It catches them with their knives out. The 2K to give Rankers yet another pistol.
The flick on that one onto Thief, though, was dirty. I'm going to be right back. I'm just going to go take a quick dip in the pool. Just need to clean myself out of that one. I don't shower. Oh, wait, do I? I do. I don't want to out myself either. It's just like Sierra just bought the Poppin' Guide gift. But that's it. I gotta say, Rankers on just how Eggster was able to utilize a similar type of playstyle as they did against YFP on Split before. Just being able to be where you could just TP back, help out the teammates, come back towards B main, flash for your B main guy. This is just so good right now where YFP really couldn't get an answer into like default mid-rounding against Rankers.
Rankers just have such good map control. If you give them any pause, they'll just creep up behind you like they did on the pistol. YFP at least benefited from the orb. They're trying to activate their lurk in mid, and Jakey's in position with a paranoia to enable a push at A or to see if they can wrap around. YFP want to go for something unexpected. I mean, not winning the pistol may have doomed YFP in this match, but they gotta pull out all the punches against this team. They do so by just flooding right through market, running from mid, getting some Cypher util, and that reveals Penny. And Inspire gets 2 big picks, doesn't get a chance to reload even with all the smokes. But that is a lot of work done for Inspire. Now his team takes the mantle, retake, with the flash, decoy, Eggster. Going in behind the wall from this ISO with a judge up close and personal. YFP just have Stellar, and even shooting them in the back is not enough. Kane is a menace.
Dude, how do you stop that, though? You're running in behind like 2 shields. You have the convergence wall from Kane. He comes out with a double tap. Exer comes out with a decoy or something like that and jumps in the front, then in the back of the wall, baiting all the shots, and then as everybody's low on bullets, they're just getting overwhelmed by the whole W retake of Rankers. And dude, this is... They're breaking the way Valorant should be played so far. This is crazy. This is going back to phase 2021 with the Schmeeg. But this is also playing the Schmeeg without agents that are really creating. Well, I guess the Euro could create that space for you. But when you're TPing as a Euro versus a Jet Dash, it's not giving you the same value on your retake capabilities or your aggression that you're trying to do. I'm loving what I'm seeing from Rankers so far. As much as people may not like it, to see how they're just breaking the mold of the meta of how Valorant should be played in the cleanest way. They make it happen. They make it work.
He's fired. He's so good, but finally Penny activates and disposes of the problem.
Here.
And Eggster is going to back up there with the Outlaw. Market control. Rankers ready to retake at the corner. It's just Penny with the judge and doesn't want to let a chance for them to walk in with any stuns or any walls, and going 1-for-1's not the worst. Even numbers. YFP hoping to stay hidden. Now the spike has already been tapped. YFP with the aftershock. Nothing left in the back pocket for Stellar. Spike doesn't even get halfway. Dexter's going past the smoke with an outlaw. And here's Kane with the judge and gets shot through the wall. And YFP somehow survive to tell the tale of another round.
And you'll take that at least here for Rankers. It is a bonus round that they dropped 3 weapons on top of that. Now going into their ult with that, how much damage Kane was able to do to in the last few rounds is very similar to how Knights was able to snowball right into an ult ASAP. So now you have a kill contract that you could use. He was going to go for an outlaw knowing that the econ's low for the opponents, but I think this is a better choice here to go with the ult and play the Vandal in the Gulag. And again, I think what Bren really drafted up here as who we thought would be a good agent, and ISO comes out of it later. Riot's been listening. Now Kane's proving to us that what Bren cooked is so OP.
And look at where Exter is with the Bucky and kill contract. Kane versus Penny. Oh, and that really hurts YFP. Not being able to have Penny go in clear sights.
The ball's on ISO. Well fought, sucker.
And it's not when it rains, it pours for YFP. Now losing Stellar, you don't have flashes, just anything to get into sight with besides recon. Paranoia hits poppin'. YFP can't capitalize on that either. Pops out of the smoke. Thief trying to get to the neural theft corpse. The drone may have spotted the top of his hat. Well, I guess he did just throw it. His bald head was spotted. Rankers already throwing out their ISO util shock bolts to clear the back box. Thief forced to engage, and just quick shots. You have to play perfect against a team like Rankers in these mechanical duels, and that'll be it. 13-3 and Sunset, the map pick from Rankers. Up next, we'll have Ascent, and that'll be YFP's last hurrah.
That is insane. Rankers picking Sunset, their strongest map. I think it shows it for a reason too, but again, we get into a point where yes, you warmed up, you played against Nightblood Gaming as YFP, but it still ends up the same result. A very one-sided for a team here for Rankers, and they're one map away of you mentioned here. We're winning stage 3 against all odds.
Against all odds, but can YFP talk to the back room? Can they get composed? It's just about the clutch scenarios, and we know YFP are made of exactly that. But yes, we're going to throw to a break. When we see you, we'll have the set ready.